Tariq Melrose here, and after what I've just watched, I'd like to formally nominate today's press conference for Best Unintentional Comedy. The plot, non-existent. The logic, missing. But the confidence, off the charts. If you've ever wondered what happens when facts lose to ego in a fistfight, well, stay tuned. I'll walk you through every twist, turn, and facepalm-worthy moment. Subscribe if you value your sanity, or at least want to keep up with those trying to test it. You won't believe what they say, and what they left out. Republicans whine about student debt relief while protecting predatory lenders, proving they side with banks, not struggling American families. Stay tuned for this video as we expose GOP hypocrisy, defend student borrowers, and fight for real educational justice.
And thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. I'm just amazed. I hear my mom talking in the back of my brain. She's on that shoulder. She always said, Lisa, if you make a deal, you got to hold up your end of the bargain. And Lisa, if you have a right to something, you have an obligation as well. Seems like we want to pick up one end of the stick, but not the other. So I want to take a moment and just, since it's Mother's Day, and thank my mom for all the wisdom and guidance that she has given me on rights and responsibilities. And if you pick up one end of the stick, you pick up the other. So thanks, Mom. Switching gears a minute, in 2021, you had a hearing before this committee, and you said you believed all colleges, right, should be treated equally. Is that still your position?
I do.
Awesome. And I want to protect the students and the taxpayers, but the idea that the department can act unilaterally to forgive student debt using the borrower defense program to discharge student debt, to me, is alarming. It's concerning. And I hear my mom in the back of my head. Mr. Secretary, I'm trying to get some data before I just talk about opinions. Do you know, or can you tell me, how many public universities have had claims approved under the loan discharge program?
Are you saying the borrower defense
Yeah.
actions? Yeah, I can have my staff reach out to you with specifics about that, but the borrower defense is
Wonderful.
really protecting students from bad actors that are
Absolutely.
selling them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think there's bad actors in public universities, private universities.
Yeah.
You're always going to find bad actors. I wish we were all perfect, but that's not the world we live in. Do you have or can you get me the data on the number of career colleges that have also had claims approved?
Sure, we'd be happy to follow up with information.
When can I
on that.
expect that?
Well, we engage in feedback and communication with the committees regularly, so we'll make sure we act in good faith to continue that communication to get you the information.
So July
in a timely
1st,
way.
do you think we should
I'll have
at
my
least
team
have
reach
it?
out to your team very soon to share when you could expect that.
I'm sorry. You
I
have
will
no
have
idea
my-
when you're going to be able to get me the data?
Well, we have 45 letters that were sent to us, and we're working in good faith to make sure we communicate
But it's really
reasonably.
simple. I'm just trying to get the data on how many public universities and private universities have had claims approved under this loan discharge program.
I'm sure that information could be gathered, and I'll have my team reach out to yours.
Is it, I appreciate that. I'm kind of looking for a date.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll have my team reach out to yours to share with you a date that you can receive that information. It's important that you have the information, and it's
I would agree too, and with as much money as we give the Department of Education and as much as we care about the students, I would think somebody has this data.
Yeah.
So you want to say August 1st? That's like 3 months. I would think we could be able to get this data in a 3-month period of time.
Yeah, we think it's really important to communicate with you, and I'll have my team reach out to yours to share a timeline of when we can get that information to you.
Am I the only one that thinks that? Okay, all right. Well, thank you for your speedy expedience on this. Okay. I understand that there's also been a lot of FOIA requests made by private organizations and institutions trying to get information on these claims and have not received them yet. Has your department been processing and responding to these requests?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The Department of Education is committed to being very clear and providing information with oversight. We take that very seriously.
We just
We're
don't
very
take the
responsive.
timeline seriously.
We've provided over 2,400 pages of documents in this Congress alone, We've responded to 45 letters this Congress alone, and we're going to continue to take that very seriously.
How many
because
employees do you
oversight
have
is
in the
important.
department? How many employees do you have in your department, and what's your budget?
Roughly under 4,000.
Under 4, okay. Okay. So I'm going to take that as a yes. You have been processing and responding to these FOIA requests?
We take that very seriously, and we have
That's a
been.
great answer to a question I didn't ask. So can we just stick with the question? Yes or no? I mean, we learned that early in education. Has your department been processing and responding to the FOIA requests? Yes, they have. No, they haven't. I'll even accept an I don't know.
Yeah, we take FOIA requests very seriously, and we have been responding.
So yes.
We take FOIA requests very seriously, and we have been responding.
What color's your suit?
I'd be happy to focus on
Yeah,
our
some
budget.
respect for the secretary.
I'm just trying to figure out if we can answer a question.
I'd be
Okay.
happy to
All right,
speak to
Madam
the
Chair, I
budget
think
as
this
well.
information is vital, not only for the oversight role, but also to understand President's request for a 600% increase in the budget in the Student Financial Aid Office. I hope that you're willing to work with me to get this data from the department and get it in actually a timely fashion for the American taxpayers. So with that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. McLean. I intend to try to.
What we just heard in this exchange tells us everything we need to know about how Republicans approach the issue of student debt and higher education. They pretend to stand up for accountability and oversight, but in reality, their entire goal is to block relief for working families while protecting the same predatory lending system that created this crisis in the first place. Representative McLean wrapped herself in her mother's folksy advice about responsibility, telling us that if you pick up one end of the stick, you pick up the other. It's a nice anecdote, perfect for a campaign speech. But here's the problem. Republicans like McLean only want Americans to pick up the burden side of the stick, crushing student debt, impossible interest rates, lifetime financial struggle, and never the right side, which includes relief, fairness, and a shot at economic mobility. Let's be clear, student debt relief is not a handout. It is justice. It is accountability for decades of a broken system that allowed predatory for-profit schools to scam students, charge astronomical tuition, and then dump the debt on ordinary people while executives and shareholders walked away rich. Democrats and the Department of Education are finally trying to fix that mess. Republicans? They want to keep it broken. McLean repeatedly pressed the Secretary of Education about data on which universities had claims approved under the Borrower Defense Program. She framed this like some kind of smoking gun, as if helping students who were defrauded by scam colleges is suspicious. But let's not lose the plot. The Borrower Defense Program exists for one simple reason. Schools lied. They misled students about job prospects, accreditation, and quality of education. Those students deserve relief. Full stop. Republicans don't care about those students. They care about defending the institutions that exploited them. They talk about taxpayer responsibility, but ignore the billions in corporate welfare, tax breaks for billionaires, and subsidies for industries that bankroll their campaigns. They're perfectly fine forgiving debt when it's PPP loans for wealthy business owners. Remember how many Republican members of Congress had their pandemic loans forgiven? But when it's a first-generation student struggling to pay off a worthless degree from a predatory school, suddenly, Republicans discover personal responsibility. The hypocrisy is staggering. McLean also whined about FOIA requests and how fast the department was providing documents. Again, this is theater. The department has produced thousands of pages of documents. The real issue is not transparency. The real issue is that Republicans want to manufacture a scandal where none exists. They want headlines about stonewalling to distract from the truth. The Biden administration is delivering relief to borrowers, while Republicans are fighting tooth and nail to take it away. Think about what that means. Republicans want to stop millions of Americans from getting relief on their loans. They want to keep young people trapped in debt. They want to prevent families from buying homes, starting businesses, or saving for retirement. They are deliberately sabotaging economic opportunity for a generation and calling it fiscal responsibility. It's cruelty disguised as prudence.
McLean's condescending tone about how, with as much money as we give the Department of Education, someone should have this data, reveals the deeper truth. For Republicans, education is not an investment. It's a budget line item they resent. They don't see students as future leaders. They see them as potential critics, activists, or Democratic voters. And what better way to suppress young voices than to bury them under mountains of debt? This is part of a larger Republican strategy. Attack higher education, smear universities as hotbeds of liberal indoctrination, push for censorship of professors and students, block relief programs that help working-class families, and then pretend to be champions of the taxpayer. It's cynical, it's deliberate, and it's dangerous for democracy. Democrats, on the other hand, are fighting to expand opportunity. Biden's Department of Education has already approved billions in debt relief for borrowers cheated by for-profit schools. They've streamlined income-driven repayment programs. They've canceled debt for public servants, teachers, and veterans. They're pushing every lever they can under existing law to give Americans a fair shot. That's what governing looks like. Republicans are suing to stop it. They're dragging the administration into court. They're fear-mongering about inflation while ignoring the fact that forgiving student debt boosts economic activity, creates jobs, and strengthens the middle class. They're lying to Americans by pretending this is about fairness when it's really about protecting corporate donors and keeping ordinary people down. Notice how McLean never once acknowledged the human cost of student debt. She didn't mention the single mom working 2 jobs while paying off loans. She didn't mention the veterans saddled with debt from a predatory for-profit college. She didn't mention the millions of young people delaying marriage, kids, or buying a home because of student loans. For Republicans, those stories don't matter. All that matters is the political theater of grilling a cabinet secretary on timelines and documents. Even when the secretary tried to explain that the department takes FOIA requests seriously and has already delivered thousands of pages, McLean kept interrupting, demanding yes or no. This wasn't oversight, it was grandstanding. Republicans don't want answers, they want sound bites. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Republicans cheered when Trump gave billions in tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans. They stayed silent when corporations wrote off loans and subsidies. They looked the other way when PPP loans were forgiven, including their own. But when working-class Americans get a chance at relief, Republicans lose their minds. That tells you everything you need to know about their priorities. They are not the party of the working class. They are the party of Wall Street, predatory lenders, and for-profit scammers. They are not the party of responsibility. They are the party of hypocrisy. They are not the party of freedom. They are the party of debt servitude, trapping millions in financial chains to keep them politically powerless. The American people deserve better. They deserve leaders who fight for opportunity, not obstruction. They deserve relief from crushing debt, not lectures about responsibility from politicians who cashed in on government perks their whole careers. They deserve a government that invests in education as a public good, not one that treats it as a political punching bag. This hearing laid it all bare. Democrats want to protect students and taxpayers. Republicans want to protect corporations and donors. Democrats want to cancel fraudulent debt. Republicans want to cancel relief. Democrats want transparency and accountability. Republicans want sound bites and smears. The choice could not be clearer. This has been Tarek Melrose Vlogs. We expose the lies, call out the hypocrisy, and defend democracy every single time. If you're tired of Republicans fighting for predatory lenders instead of struggling students, if you're sick of their hypocrisy on debt relief, and if you want truth over propaganda, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and join us. Together, we will fight for fairness, defend opportunity, and protect the future of American democracy.